Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning to all. My name is Raihanah Yasmin Binti Samsol, and today I will present to you 4 subtopics under topic Society 5.0. So in the last video, my group member Shazana has presented a little bit about this topic, but let me once again introduce to you what Society 5.0 is. Basically, Society 5.0 is a human-centered society that balances economic advancement with the resolution of social problems. Society 5.0 provides a mean to resolve the social problems that arise from the economic development by incorporating with new technologies like Internet of Things IoT, artificial intelligence, AI, big data, and also robotics. This society is a new society created by transformation, led by scientific and technological innovation, following the previous society, which is Society 1.0, Society 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0, which is hunting society, agriculture society, industrial society, and the previous one is information society. Okay, now let's take a look how does Society 5.0 works. Society 5.0 achieves a high degree of convergence between cyberspace, virtual space, and the physical space, the real space. What does it mean by achieve a high degree of convergence? It means it's like bridging the gap, narrowing the gap, or combining cyberspace and physical space into one. In cyberspace, it accumulates a huge amount of information from sensors in physical space. The data is analyzed by artificial intelligence (AI), and the analysis are fed back to the human in physical space in various forms. People, scenes, and systems are all connected in cyberspace, and the optimal results obtained by AI exceeds human capabilities, which is human can't do that. This process brings new value to industry and society in ways not previously possible. Previously in Society 4.0, which is information society, people would access a cloud service database in cyberspace via the internet and search for, retrieve, analyze information or data. But the common practice was to collect information via the network and have it analyzed by humans. Now, let's take a look at the comparison between Society 4.0 and Society 5.0. Okay, let's take a look on the left side of the picture. In information society, people assess, people retrieve, and people analyze all the information. As you can see in the physical space, a person search by navigation system, a person analyze information, and in the manufacturing industry, the products that produced by the robots must be under control of human, which it means under human supervision. But different with Society 5.0, where all the information that come from the sensors in the physical space are accumulated in the cyberspace and have it analyzed by artificial intelligence. Okay, so we have now automatic driving, AI propose a person, and also in manufacturing industry, no more supervision by the human, but it all will be done by the robots, automatic producing by robots in a factory. Alright, the second subtopic is Society 5.0, balance economic development and solve social issues. But before that, we need to know what economic development means. It is called economic development when people's standard of living upgraded from low-income economy to a high-income economy. We need to know that economic advancement is a good thing, but there will be issues, problems that come along with it. But by incorporating new technologies, the world can balance the economic development by providing means to resolve the social problems. The use of the new technologies like Internet of Things, IoT, robotics, artificial intelligence, AI, big data can provide goods and services that granularly address manifold latent needs without disparity. The sentence here means these new technologies can provide goods and services that tackles various needs in detail in all industries without disparity means in all industries, in not just in only one particular industry. So for you to get better understanding, I will show you the videos that explain what is the IoT, AI, and big data.
Imagine you're at work and realize that you might not have turned off the air conditioner while leaving your house. Instead of traveling all the way back home, what if you could use your smartphone to know the status of your AC and perhaps even turn it off? Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, yes. And this can be achieved with the help of the Internet of Things. Until recently, access to the Internet was limited via devices like the desktop, tablet, or smartphone. But now, with IoT, practically all appliances can be connected to the Internet and monitored remotely. IoT is shaping the way we live our lives. It helps us get a better insight into the working of things around us. So, what exactly is the Internet of Things? IoT is a system of interrelated devices connected to the Internet to transfer and receive data from one to the other. A smart home is the best example of IoT. Home appliances like the AC, doorbell, thermostats, smoke detectors, water heaters, and security alarms can be interconnected to share data with the user over a mobile application. The user can now get detailed insight into the working of the devices around him. Think about it. Until recently, the internet helped people connect and interact with each other. But now, inanimate objects or things have the ability to sense the surroundings, to interact and collaborate with one another. For example, in the morning when your alarm goes off, the IoT system can open the window blinds, turn on the coffee pot for you, and even turn on the water heater. Although all of this is fascinating, there's a lot that goes on in the background to ensure seamless functioning. From effective communication between devices to accurate processing of the data received, a lot of components are involved. In the context of IoT devices, hardware can be classified into general devices and sensing devices. The general devices are the main components of the data hub and information exchange. They are connected either by wired or wireless interfaces. Home appliances are a classic example of such devices. The sensing devices, on the other hand, include sensors and actuators. They measure the temperature, humidity, light intensity, and other parameters. These IoT devices are connected to the network with the help of gateways. These gateways, or processing nodes, process the information collected from the sensors and transfer it to the cloud. The cloud acts as both the storage and processing unit. Actions are performed on the collected data for further learning and inferences. Wired and wireless interfaces like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, GSMs, and so on are used to provide connectivity. To ensure its ubiquity, applications need to support a diverse set of devices and communication protocols, from tiny sensors capable of sensing and reporting the desired factor, to powerful back-end servers that are utilized for data analysis and knowledge extraction. To help you understand its working, let's take a simple scenario. Let's suppose you want to water your garden every time the moisture level in the soil drops. Instead of doing it manually, you could automate it using IoT. The sensors and actuators installed gauge the soil for its moisture. This information is sent to the IoT gateway with the help of communication protocols like MQTT or HTTP. The gateway significantly aggregates data and feeds it to the cloud with the help of Wi-Fi LAN. Once the moisture level drops, the system is immediately triggered and the sprinklers are turned on. However, with the information stored in the cloud, a detailed analysis like the time of the day the sprinkler was turned on, the rate at which the moisture in the soil reduces, and so on, can be done, and the report could be sent over to you on your smartphone over an app. With the improved response, monitoring, and analytical capabilities, IoT is being adopted in almost all industries and domains, opening doors to endless applications. Today, IoT is being used extensively to lessen the burden on humans. To name a few, IoT is deployed for smart homes, wearables, watches and bracelets, smart cars, smart farming, smart retail, smart grids, smart city, and smart healthcare. With such a wide spectrum of applications, the future of IT looks more promising than ever before. In 2018, there were about 23 billion connected devices, which was more than double the world population. According to experts, there will be over 80 billion devices by 2025. IoT is a vision to connect all devices with the power of the internet, always learning and always growing. The integration of IoT with other technologies like cloud computing, machine learning, and artificial intelligence is paving the way for many new and exciting innovations. And that is the Internet of Things for you in short.
Now the next video will explain to you what is artificial
Picture
intelligence.
this, a machine that could organize your cupboard just as you like it, or serve every member of the house a customized cup of coffee. Makes your day easier, doesn't it? These are the products of artificial intelligence. But why use the term artificial intelligence? Well, these machines are artificially incorporated with human-like intelligence to perform tasks as we do. This intelligence is built using complex algorithms and mathematical functions. But AI may not be as obvious as in the previous examples. In fact, AI is used in smartphones, cars, social media feeds, video games, banking, surveillance, and many other aspects of our daily life. The real question is, what does an AI do at its core? Here is a robot we built in our lab, which is now dropped onto a field. In spite of the variation in lighting, landscape, and dimensions of the field, the AI robot must perform as expected. This ability to react appropriately to a new situation is called generalized learning. The robot is now at a crossroad, one that is paved and the other rocky. The robot must determine which path to take based on the circumstances. This portrays the robot's reasoning ability. After a short stroll, the robot now encounters a stream that it cannot swim across. Using the plank provided as an input, the robot is able to cross this stream. So, our robot uses the given input and finds the solution for a problem. This is problem solving. These three capabilities make the robot artificially intelligent. In short, AI provides machines with the capability to adapt, reason, and provide solutions. Well, now that we know what AI is, let's have a look at the two broad categories an AI is classified into. Weak AI, also called narrow AI, focuses solely on one task. For example, AlphaGo is a maestro of the game Go, but you can't expect it to be even remotely good at chess. This makes AlphaGo a weak AI. You might say Alexa is definitely not a weak AI, since it can perform multiple tasks. Well, that's not really true. When you ask Alexa to play Despacito, it picks up the keywords play and Despacito, and runs a program it is trained to. Alexa cannot respond to a question it isn't trained to answer. For instance, try asking Alexa the status of traffic from work to home. Alexa cannot provide you this information, as she is not trained to. And that brings us to our second category of AI, strong AI. Now, this is much like the robots that only exist in fiction as of now. Ultron from Avengers is an ideal example of a strong AI. That's because it's self-aware and eventually even develops emotions. This makes the AI's response unpredictable. You must be wondering, well, how is artificial intelligence different from machine learning and deep learning? We saw what AI is. Machine learning is a technique to achieve AI, and deep learning, in turn, is a subset of machine learning. Machine learning provides a machine with the capability to learn from data and experience through algorithms. Deep learning does this learning through ways inspired by the human brain. This means, through deep learning, data and patterns can be better perceived. Ray Kurzweil, a well-known futurist, predicts that by the year 2045, we would have robots as smart as humans. This is called the point of singularity. Well, that's not all. In fact, Elon Musk predicts that the human mind and body will be enhanced by AI implants, which would make us partly cyborgs. Since the human brain is still a mystery, it's no surprise that AI too has a lot of unventured domains. For now, AI is built to work with humans and make our tasks easier. However, with the maturation of technology, we can only wait and watch what the future of AI holds for us. Well, that is artificial intelligence for you in short.
And the last one is big data.
We all use smartphones, but have you ever wondered how much data it generates in the form of texts, phone calls, emails, photos, videos, searches, and music? Approximately 40 exabytes of data gets generated every month by a single smartphone user. Now, imagine this number multiplied by 5 billion smartphone users. That's a lot for our mind to even process, isn't it? In fact, this amount of data is quite a lot for traditional computing systems to handle. And this massive amount of data is what we term as big data. Let's have a look at the data generated per minute on the internet. 2.1 million snaps are shared on Snapchat. 3.8 million search queries are made on Google. 1 million people log on to Facebook. 4.5 million videos are watched on YouTube. 188 million emails are sent. That's a lot of data. So, how do you classify any data as big data? This is possible with the concept of 5 V's: volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. Let us understand this with an example from the healthcare industry. Hospitals and clinics across the world generate massive volumes of data. 2,314 exabytes of data are collected annually in the form of patient records and test results. All this data is generated at a very high speed, which attributes to the velocity of big data. Variety refers to the various data types, such as structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. Examples include Excel records, log files, and X-ray images. Accuracy and trustworthiness of the generated data is termed as veracity. Analyzing all this data will benefit the medical sector by enabling faster disease detection, better treatment, and reduced cost. This is known as the value of big data. But how do we store and process this big data? To do this job, we have various frameworks such as Cassandra, Hadoop, and Spark. Let us take Hadoop as an example and see how Hadoop stores and processes big data. Hadoop uses a distributed file system known as Hadoop Distributed File System to store big data. If you have a huge file, your file will be broken down into smaller chunks and stored in various machines. Not only that, when you break the file, you also make copies of it, which goes into different nodes. This way, you store your big data in a distributed way and make sure that even if one machine fails, your data is safe on another. MapReduce technique is used to process big data. A lengthy task A is broken into smaller tasks, B, C, and D. Now, instead of one machine, 3 machines take up each task and complete it in a parallel fashion and assemble the results at the end. Thanks to this, the processing becomes easy and fast. This is known as parallel processing. Now that we have stored and processed our big data, we can analyze this data for numerous applications. In games like Halo 3 and Call of Duty, designers analyze user data to understand at which stage most of the users pause, restart, or quit playing. This insight can help them rework on the storyline of the game and improve the user experience, which in turn reduces the customer churn rate. Similarly, big data also helped with disaster management during Hurricane Sandy in 2012. It was used to gain a better understanding of the storm's effect on the east coast of the U.S., and necessary measures were taken. It could predict the hurricane's landfall 5 days in advance, which wasn't possible earlier. These are some of the clear indications of how valuable big data can be once it is accurately processed and analyzed.
Okay, now I will explain to you the effects of the academic advancement. Due to the academic development, there is increase in energy demand. So the resolution to this issue is reduction of GHG emission. But before that, what is GHG? GHG is greenhouse gases like methane and CH4, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, ozone that trap heat and make the planet warmer. There are many sources, various sources of greenhouse gas emission, like transportation, electricity production, industry, commercial and residential, agriculture, land use and forestry. And to reduce the greenhouse gas emission, there are many ways like by practicing 3R reduce, reuse, recycle, use less heat and air conditioning, replace the light bulbs, carpooling, use energy efficient products and planting more trees. As we know, we commonly use fossil fuels to generate electrical energy, but the use of fossil fuel will contribute to the greenhouse gas emission. So using Internet of Things IoT, it has potential to transition energy grid to be powered by renewable resources like wind and solar through smart metering and forecasting. By transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources, more than half of carbon dioxide emission can be reduced. So the second effects of economic advancement is the increasing demand for foodstuff. Due to the rising population, farmers need to produce more foods. So by integrating IoT to the sensors that collect data about the soil moisture, the weather and fertilization level, it can help farmers to maximize the production. On top of that, the use of autonomous tractors could take care of the drilling, seeding, and spraying to reduce human labor time, which by integrating this technology, it can increase the production and at the same time reduce the loss of foodstuff. Next is the lifespan becoming longer and aging society is advancing. So what is aging society? So let's have a look. Aging society is referred to a society whose median age rises due to rising life expectancy and declining birth rates. According to the United Nations standards, the aging society is defined as the country or region in which the share of population aged over 65 exceeds 7% of the whole population. So what are the effects of the aging society? The effects of aging society is deteriorating fiscal balance. Fiscal balance here means the government budget balance. And it also changes in there will also changes in patterns of saving and investment. The next effect is shortage in labor supply because as they get older, they can't afford to do work, so which will contribute to the decreasing in productivity and also declining in economic growth. Another effect of the aging society also is lack of adequate welfare system. As the lifespan becoming longer, so the costs that associate with aging society will be high too. So more healthcare are needed to support people for longer period of time as people live longer. Therefore, something must be done to mitigate this issue. For your information, from what I read online, NHS, which is National Health Service, they already started looking to artificial intelligence to improve patient services and cut costs. It was found out that through artificial intelligence and automation, about 10% of National Health Services operational healthcare could be saved. The next one is due to the economic advancement, it will also lead to international competition becoming severe. So the use of this new technology like IoT, robotics, AI, big data, and such can promote to sustainable industrialization. The meaning of what is sustainable industrialization? It is a long-term process of transformation towards a desired vision of an industrialized economy. It contributes to wealth creation, social development, and environmental sustainability. The last one is concentration of wealth and regional inequality are growing. So here is the meaning of regional inequality. It is a difference in the standard of living and opportunities for work between regions. Some regions within a nation state are relatively wealthy compared with other regions having a greater share of well-paid employment and provision of services. So by incorporating new technologies to this issue, the redistribution of wealth and correction of regional inequality can be done. There is a research project at Stanford University where they compare the high resolution images of rural areas in Africa from the satellite to identify the infrastructure and characteristic features, and then they predict how rich and poor certain areas are. And with their research, they want to provide a tool, an easy tool to track progress toward eliminating poverty by using these new technologies. The next subtopic is economic development and solution to social problems in Society 5.0. And Society 5.0, new value created through innovation will eliminate regional, age, gender, and language gaps and enable the provision of products and services finely tailored to diverse individual needs and latent needs. The words finely tailored here means it enables the provision of products and services that suits various individual needs and latent needs. In this way, it will make it possible to achieve a society that can both promote development and find solutions to social problems. New technologies introduce us with preventive examination and robot-supported caregiving where it can extend healthy life expectancy and reducing the social cost. As you may see in the picture, the old man is wearing a smartwatch. The smartwatch has a sensor that can detect body's heart rate and send the information to the cloud to be analyzed and then send it back to the wrist. The use of this smartwatch can alert the users to an illness before any outward sign occur. Next, we have robot-supported caregiving. It offers support for everyday and repetitive tasks such as eating, selecting clothes, or exercising, with the aim of lightening the burden for seniors and their caregivers. Certain elder care robots take more direct muscular approach and use powerful hydraulic to help provide mobility and transportation support to the seniors. Next, the new technology is automating the agriculture industry and optimal home delivery, which can increase production of foodstuff and reducing waste. Like I mentioned just now, we use autonomous tractor to do the drilling, seeding, and spraying. And by integrating the IoT to the sensors at the physical space, we can always supervise the soil moisture, the weather, the fertilization levels, so that we can ensure the increasing of production. Next, we have in Society 5.0, we have optimal value chain and automated production by robots that can promote the sustainable industrialization and eliminate manual shortage. Um, the au- the automated production by robots will eliminate manual shortage and simultaneously solve the issue of labor shortage. Last but not least, we have energy diversification and local production that have stable supply of energy and reduce greenhouse gas emission. As you can see in the picture, now we have solar panel and wind turbine to generate electrical energy. We no longer rely on just fossil fuels to generate electrical energy, but now we are using renewable sources that can also promote the sustainable technology. Besides, it also have stable energy supply. The next picture is the local production by the solar panels that is installed on top of the roof, and we also have plug-in vehicles, and the use of these renewable sources can reduce to greenhouse gas emission, which is it is environmental friendly. Now I want to show you a video how a new technology helps healthcare in Society 5.0.
Field of life science have been transforming our society so that people can live longer, healthy lives. For example, big biometric data gathered continuously every day will alert users to an illness before there are any outward signs, enabling them to receive prompt medical treatment. With new medical and communication technology, patients will be able to consult with doctors anywhere, anytime. VR surgical simulators will enable more advanced examination and diagnosis. The knowledge and technology of myriad physicians will be compiled into a multidimensional, shareable database, improving medical technology as a whole to help eliminate the current disparity in the level of medical care among patients. Diagnostic imaging, which has become fast and accurate thanks to deep learning, is contributing to the early detection of diseases that have been difficult to diagnose. This will enable doctors to spend more time with their patients and reduce the physical and economic burden on patients. Japan aims at realizing Society 5.0, a technology based, human centered society.
Okay, now so let's go to the last subtopic, which is Society 5.0 will bring about a human-centered society. This subtopic will explain how Society 5.0 creates new value. In the current society, a priority has been placed on social, economic, and organizational system, with the result that gaps have arisen in product and services that individuals receive based on individual abilities and other reasons. While in Society 5.0, which is human-centered society, it achieves advanced convergence between cyberspace and physical space, which enabling AI based on big data and robots to perform and support as an agent the work and adjustments that humans have done up to now. By integrating these new technologies, it frees humans from everyday cumbersome work. It means complex work and tasks that they are particularly not good at. It also enables the provision of products and services in the required amount to the people who need them when they need them, thereby optimizing the entire social and organizational system. One thing we need to be clear is that uh, technologies and innovation need to be powered and leveraged to aid humans and our advancement, not to replace us anyway. Because Society 5.0 is a human-centered society. It is not a robot-centered society. We're not living in a future that is controlled and monitored by AI and robots. Society 5.0, it enables the world to realize economic development while solving key social problems at the same time. We want the world to achieve both of them. Like we don't want anything to be left behind. Aside from that, achieving Society 5.0 would also contribute to meeting the SDG, as the integration of these advanced technologies uh, will help to accelerate the progress on the 17 United Nations SDG. So let's take a look what is SDG. SDG is an abbreviation of Sustainable Development Goals. It is a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. So here is the video for Sustainable Development Goals. So the video I'm about to show you is quite long, so I hope you won't get bored with it and try to take this chance to learn and gain new knowledge about SDG.
In 2015, world leaders from 193 countries agreed the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. The world's new action plan for the next 15 years to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, fight inequality, tackle climate change, and achieve sustainable development for all. The SDGs follow the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs, agreed in 2000 in a global coordinated attempt to tackle development issues. As a result, the number of people living in extreme poverty has declined by more than half compared to 1990. More girls and boys go to primary school than ever before, and far more people have access to water and essential medicines. The progress of the MDGs has been mixed. Today, over 800 million people still live in extreme poverty. They are also most vulnerable to the increasing impacts from climate change and environmental degradation. Years of hard-won progress fighting poverty could easily be wiped out by even small conflicts, economic crises, or natural disasters. Also, Sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia consistently achieve less progress than other regions. The MDGs measured success on national averages, often missing what happened with marginalized groups like people with disabilities, indigenous groups, rural communities, and women. The international community recognized the new challenges and that human prosperity must go hand in hand with protecting the planet. After a 3-year participatory process, world leaders finally adopted 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So what are these goals for? They are end poverty for all, freedom from hunger, health and well-being, quality of education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, sustainable energy for all, decent work and economic development, innovation and resilient infrastructure, reducing inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, sustainable consumption and production, action on climate change, healthy oceans,
sustainable ecosystems, peace and justice, global partnerships. There are 4 underlying principles that come with the SDGs and that are transformational in the way we work on development in the future. Firstly, the SDGs are universal. They apply to every country, rich and poor, north and south, developed and developing. They recognize that global challenges like tackling climate change and changing models of development require global solutions. Domestic policies that look at these issues in one country will have an impact on other parts of the world, so we need to coordinate. Secondly, they integrate all dimensions of sustainability: economic development, social progress, and environmental protection. For example, they tell us to grow enough food for all without destroying the soil or overusing water, to develop our economies without increasing inequality, or to produce enough electricity for all without pumping more CO2 into the atmosphere. This is similar to what Pope Francis says in his encyclical. We are faced not with 2 separate crises, one environmental and the other social, but rather with one complex crisis, which is both social and environmental. Strategies for a solution demand an integrated approach to combating poverty, restoring dignity to the excluded, and at the same time protecting nature. The SDGs tell us we should leave no one behind. Governments have agreed no goal should be met unless it is met for everyone, including those in society most vulnerable and hardest to reach. So education must reach Indigenous communities, jobs created for women and men, quality healthcare available for all rural communities, and water and sanitation facilities accessible for people living with disabilities. Tackling exclusion is the key to tackling inequality. And finally, the SDGs require the participation of all. The process to agree the SDGs took years and included national dialogues, consultations with civil society groups, the private sector and academia, and ended with negotiations between all governments at the UN. There's a strong sense of ownership of these goals. The result is ambitious, but it reflects what the world wants. Today, the implementation of the SDGs requires ongoing participation at a national and local level. All stakeholders have a role towards their successful achievement. Taken together with the Paris Climate Change Agreement and the Pope's encyclical Laudato Si', the SDGs provide a new framework for approaching sustainable development.
So now I will show you how does the new technologies like big data and artificial intelligence will help to accelerate to achieve the sustainable development goals.
The data revolution is driving innovative ways to use real-world data for better insights and actions towards achieving sustainable development goals. At the World Bank, the revolution is well underway. Hundreds of projects are using big data tools and technologies to help governments reimagine solutions to strengthen policy and improve service delivery. We are supporting Haiti to use insights from mobile phone records to better connect urban residents to jobs, services, and economic opportunities. We are supporting the Philippines to work with local governments to use GPS location data from taxis to reduce traffic congestion and improve key services like emergency response. We are supporting India, and soon globally, to use nighttime satellite imagery to monitor and ensure the electrification of rural areas. We are supporting Uganda by working with the National Statistical Office to use satellite data for reliable and real-time insights. This is helping improve crop productivity of smallholder farmers. We are partnering with South Korea to help over 20 countries learn from South Korea's experience in using big data. Through interactive workshops, discussions, and study tours, participants have learned how to apply these lessons for better performance in sectors like health, transport, and agriculture. In each of these cases, robust data analysis was possible because we used both traditional sources of data and big data. The information that is buried in traditional data is quintessential to ground truth and gleaning accurate insights from big data analytics. Big data brings new opportunities, but also presents a set of unique challenges. The World Bank is a valuable partner to help build, boost, and broker capabilities that governments need to put big data in action for the SDGs. Our expertise in traditional development data is essential to validate insights drawn from big data sources and develop new standards. Our experience developing data norms and standards can help address security, ethics, and privacy concerns. Our technical and sector expertise ensures that data solutions are relevant, robust, and customized to local context. Our world-class knowledge and learning can support capacity building and local integration of evidence-based solutions. The World Bank Group can help promote public-private collaborations that enable responsible access to private sector data that crowd in public-private resources and expertise to accelerate progress on the 2030 agenda. Together, we can disrupt business as usual. Join the data revolution.
Now, how does artificial intelligence help to accelerate the sustainable development goals? To summarize, Society 5.0 enables advanced fusion or merging of virtual space and the real space. The aim of Society 5.0 is to balance economic advancement with the resolution of social problems by integrating or by incorporating new technologies like AI, big data, robotics, and all that can provide goods and services that tackle various needs in detail in all industries. These new technologies will bring benefit to everyone regardless of their age and gender. Society 5.0 will bring comfort, vitality, and high quality lives to all people in this world. I personally think that in a few years' time, we might be able to achieve Society 5.0. Okay, so that marks the end of my presentation today. Thank you for watching. I hope you will get better understanding what is Society 5.0. Now I will pass my presentation to my group mate Alia Akila. Thank you.